I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. I will also, as part of our effort to provide regulatory clarity, we will create a framework to enable the safe and responsible expansion of stable coins. Do you know what a stable coin is? Does anybody know? Please raise your hand. Allowing us to extend the dominance of the U.S. dollar to new frontiers all around the world. America will be richer, the world will be better, and there will be billions and billions of people brought into crypto economy and storing their savings in Bitcoin. So that's the way it is. That's pretty much the way it is.
Hey, Shalom, this is the Brother Abaya back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Rechacha Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, the men that I learned the truth from. And shalom to the whole elect. Yeah, you've seen with the videos that I put in the beginning of this with Trump alleging that he wants to spearhead the movement of crypto being adopted on a mass scale here in America. One of the main reasons he used to explain why he wants to do that is because he wants America to continue to be the head of the worldwide economy. All right, you know how the dollar is basically you already have a world currency when you look at it. The dollar is used by every major nation throughout the earth, and it's the supreme currency throughout the earth. All right, even at this point in time, the American dollar makes up, I believe, it's like 60% of the whole world's global currency reserve. So, you know, the dollar isn't going anywhere. And Trump wants to ensure that America is the strongest, continues to be the strongest country military-wise and economically, all right, financial-wise. So, you know, you see these big players, these other countries, these other major countries like Russia, China, India, South Africa with the whole BRICS nation thing and them wanting to, you know, dump off a little bit of their reserves that they have in dollars, but still wanting to, you know, use the dollar because the dollar is so strong, but also putting, you know, plans in for crypto, adopting crypto, all right, using some of their trades and, you know, some of the moves they do in crypto. And a lot of nations are seeing this. A lot of lesser nations are seeing this and making plans to move to the new digital way of how you trade, buy, and sell, all right, nationwide, countrywide. And you have this whole ISO 20... what's it called? The ISO 222, which basically is a messaging standard to where, you know, everybody's going to leave off the old SWIFT system, all right, of how they, you know, send out currencies, cross-border payments, all right, how nations deal with currencies worldwide. Basically leaving off that old system and moving on to the new messaging system, which is digitized. And that has to do with cryptos being adopted on a very, very large scale, right? So basically, like when, you know, certain transactions are made worldwide or nationwide, it may take, you know, days for it to clear through banks. Well, with this payment system of the ISO 222, basically everything will be instant. So as soon as a transaction is made, it's completed on both ends instantly. All right, it's completed on the consumer's end and it's completed on the seller's end instantly. There is no 3-day pending wait or for the transaction to fully be finalized. But really, it's just them wanting to, integrate cryptos into society on a mass scale. Now, one interesting point that Trump said was he wants to get rid of central bank digital currencies, or he wants to stop. At least he wants to stop the implementation of central bank digital currencies. So he wants to stop the implementation of a central bank digital currency being instituted here in America. So basically, he's been telling. So if you're wondering why a lot of people voted for Trump, basically he's been telling them that he's going to leave off or get rid of the old central banking system, which is what the whole digital monetization movement is all about, or at least they, want you to think that's what it's all about, leaving off the old central bank system and moving towards a society where everybody's filthy rich independently from how much crypto they have held. But see, the thing is, that's a tricky thing. That's a very tricky thing, because we know that the central bank was set up by a few select families agreeing on Jekyll Island that they wanted to start the Federal Reserve, and start this debt-based system backed and owned by the central banks, the private-owned central banks. All right. And they're not just going to allow the power that they've had for all these years to just be taken away because Trump won an election. So we have two scenarios that's going to play out once Trump is inaugurated and becomes the president of the United States. Either he was lying this whole time about, trying to get rid of the central banking system that we're on and move towards a more free, individualistic society where people are, wealthy by the way they use and manage their crypto. Either he was lying about that, or, which I believe this is the more likely scenario that's happening, is the central banks, the owners of these private central banks and the so-called secret cabal or the elites of this society of the Edomites, all right, beginning with the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, so forth and so on. Either they have come together and said they're moving toward, because I believe they created Bitcoin. All right, at the end of the day, they created crypto. They're miles ahead of everybody else. They're years ahead of everybody else, because the Most High Abba Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh is using them. All right, he's using them as his sword. So I believe, of course, they created crypto, and I believe that their whole plan is to move the whole way that they've been using the central banks to just a digital system, all right, which is this whole ISO 222 thing. Now, either Trump is in that, he's a part of their plan, and he's just lying to people, or Trump is going to go rogue, and then they're going to have to get rid of him. All right, but I believe more, like they did Kennedy, right? John F. Kennedy, right? He went rogue, and they got rid of him. But pursuing the prophecy in the times that we're in, I think it would be more likely that Trump is actually in on the plan with them, all right? Because he goes to Israel and, he pays homage to Benjamin Netanyahu, and, he has a lot of Amalekites, which are the Israelis. He has a lot of them a part of his, administration, and he's in league with them. So I don't believe he's going to go rogue. I just believe that he's lying to the people, and it doesn't have to necessarily be presented when the new system is up and running, because the ISO 222 the mandate is in effect this year, all right? And you have to be fully integrated, or at least moving to be fully integrated by November of this year. So it doesn't have to come out as a CBDC, right? It doesn't have to be presented as a central bank digital currency. They can just do order ab KO, all right? Because at the end of the day, Trump is an Edomite, all right? And Edomites are, perpetual liars. So let me get this in Psalm chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor. With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak." Right? So with a double mind, which goes into having a double tongue, they that's how they speak. All right, they tell you one thing, but then they do another. And like I said, all it takes is order ab chaos, right? Order out of chaos. Another pandemic, another serious false attack, to where it may be EMP related, or lights or telecommunications being shut off, and then they reset it, which is what's the whole plan, the Great Reset, turning the whole old system off and turning the old system off and turning the new system on. That's really the plan. That's the Great Reset plan, and Trump is a part of that. All right, when this whole C-19 event started and they were instituting the potion, mandating the potion, Trump was the one that started with the what was the shit where he put it in the overdrive, all right? Operation Warp Speed, Operation Warp Speed, all right? He wasn't against people taking a potion; he was for it. So at the end of the day, he's in league with these guys, all right? Let me go over to Revelation chapter 13. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, starting at verse 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. Right? So, he has two horns as a lamb, but he speaks as a dragon. All right? Their words are different from their actual appearance. They appear to want to help the average citizen, of their country, but really their plan is to further enslave and further oppress and further deceive, all right, those that are not a part of the inner workings of the secret cabal, or the top elites of their operation, all right, because they're selfish, all right. They want to hoard everything to themselves, and they've made these plans long ago for their utopia, their dreams of their utopia, and the things that they want to do. So yes, Trump is going to be the guy that I believe spearheads the adoption of the CHARAGMA, all right? Because, which the CHARAGMA, if you don't know what the CHARAGMA is, it's spoken of in the book of Revelation that you won't be able to buy or sell without it. All right, and if you take this CHARAGMA, then the Lord is going to cast you into the lake of fire, right? Which is World War III, the nukes, the chariots, which people call UFOs, shooting lasers. All right, that spiritual, physical fire coming out of the chariots, on top of the nuclear fire coming from the ICBM missiles. Yeah, that you're going to be cast into the lake of fire for taking this CHARAGMA, all right, this mark. And I believe Trump is the guy to spearhead it because just analyzing the times, all right, being watchful and seeing what's on the horizon, So, going back to the point of the Great Reset, they turn the old system off, turn the new system on. It ties into this whole immigration problem, all right? Immigrants wilding out, setting people on fire, all right? Raping people, murdering people, doing all type of crazy shit. They want to be able to track people. They want to be able to better monitor people. And, of course, tying into the new monetary system, they're going to need a faster, quicker way to keep track of people's spendings. Even when you look at, your wallet is already digitized. All right, a lot of people have their wallets on their phones now. All right, their Apple wallets and all these things. So the CHARAGMA is going to be put inside of you, right? Either in your hand or in your head. But like Apostle Tahar always says, whether it's in your butt cheek, if you take it, you're not slated to receive salvation. So we just got to continue to watch. But if brothers are not familiar, yeah, look up the ISO 222 and look into that and see how it plays in the prophecy and line everything up with prophecy, because these people think, oh, I got a lot of these cryptos that are going to be looked at as beneficial when this thing goes live or when it's mandated, but they don't realize all of this is a trap to being linked to the CHARAGMA. So I didn't want to make this too long. I just wanted to touch on that. Lord willing, it was edifying. Until the next time I say shalom.